for perspective, let me show you a snapshot of all the changes happening in the world today. Okay. There's some bad news. So you have your police violence happening in the US. You have some cyber hacking, quite dangerous. And now you have conflicts between nations. And you have the emergence of extremists, militant groups. And you have airstrikes. And for my part of the world, calamities, disasters happening. Typhoons in my country happen 25 times a year. And we have Nepal's earthquake. And this is beyond our control. Now, there are some good news, though. If you look at Huffington Post or Time Magazine, you have good news like the motivated youth, the millennials. Not my batch, probably yours, but the batch of the millennials are very impatient. They like to be successful tomorrow. Not my batch, definitely. I would spend 10 years to get somewhere. And then they are also the believers of not owning anything, no commitments. Renting and probably sharing is their task. You also have airports as cities. You do business in airports. You don't have to go to the city itself. You finish your business, you fly out. You also have digital romance. It's been there, it's been happening, it's going to be there for a long time. And science. Stem cells today will be cure for cancer in the future. It will be forever a change in the world. Now, changing the world through media is actually a lofty job. In fact, quite impossible if you ask me. And before you even think of world-changing media, I think you have to start somewhere. That's a reality. Start somewhere small. Don't think world in an instant. You know, changing the world should start somewhere small like yourself, I think. Because you have to be able to have the genuine feeling or the concern or the urge to help before you start anything. And I call that, for me, I call that restlessness. I've always been a restless person. That's my equity in the office, restless. You have to have a restlessness not to be useless. That's my guide in life, maybe in my gravesite later on. But I want to be restless, and I've always been that. That guided me all throughout. You cannot just sit back and watch the world go by. You have to to contribute in a way. So that's it. Since I was in grade school, my first brush with outdoor advertising is grade 1. I would look at students not littering and not returning bottles, and I would make my own posters, draw, write copy, and give it to teachers and volunteer. So I've always been restless. At 13, I could not believe questioning every single thing in the school, principals' decisions, and why is the country being run this way? At 13. So I couldn't get answers from my parents. I packed up my bags and entered a convent. 3 years, from 13. It's a very contemplative world, it's beyond walls. You can't go out. But what I learned through the convent, it's a Benedictine convent, so the thing is, it's ora et labora. Work and pray, okay? Work and pray, manual labor. I was a city girl, but I was doing farming, taking care of animals. But the prayer part was kind of fresh to me because it was silence. Total silence. I didn't speak except during prayers when you have to say things, but silence. And it cleared my mind and made me absorb things faster. Okay, what did I get out of this 3-year stint? I learned how to read people. A little shoulder twitch, little eyebrow. I know exactly what you feel, and I know what everybody's feeling. So after that, from a world of silence, you start with your job. I got into the noisiest job, which is advertising, communication, by accident. But can you imagine how I truly enjoyed reading consumers, reading my clients' reactions to ideas I would come up with. So I truly did a lot of human insights that I would get from things that my clients never even saw before. It existed. And then from then, I was enjoying my mom, like any mom of advertising people, I don't understand your job. And then she said, oh, so your job is to convince people to buy what they don't need. Then the restlessness came back. I defended that. I said, no, my job is to convince people to buy what they don't think they need, but they do. But at the end of the day, it kept me restless, thinking, is this my job? So I have to go back to that restlessness not to become useless. So that's the time, after 2 stints in 2 networks, I started my own. And in this office, we have 33 people, 33 restless souls who would come with me, you know, digging up things, not probably changing the world, changing the community, changing whatever, solving problems, not just brand problems of my clients, but find solutions as well in little things around you to be able to help. And there, I discovered that creativity comes from a brand new place, whereas it's logically, left side is rational, right side is creative. Really, it's just like when you sing, you use your throat. You think you'd use your throat, but uses a different organ, it's diaphragm. So it's like you'd rather, if the urge to help comes from the heart, is more genuine. And those are the examples I'll show you today, this morning. And it will never, never come from templates and past winners. So I don't really encourage my creatives to look at past can winners. I mean, you can just create new ones. And I think you have to start with a vision is the next step. And I was very lucky that last year and early this year, I was part of the Cannes Chimera with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We had to look at all the ideas worldwide and choose 10. And as you know, this person has a vision, and he believes that every life is equal value. And I was lucky enough to visit the foundation in Seattle, and it was like Disneyland for world-changing ideas. Here, every single corner is filled up with things to inspire to think of these solutions worldwide. So if I was trying to find solutions in my community, this one is a bigger sense, it's a bigger way. Opening my mind and working together to find solutions. And they're all there. It was like a theme park. There was like computers that you see what solutions have been made already and what you can do in the future. You can even build something right there and then, or write something and hang up there, and you can see that everyone there is contributing every day. It was really amazing. It was an amazing experience, and you truly, truly leave the place inspired. The topic then that we were working on was ending poverty by 2030. The 2 criteria for choosing the ideas, one was longevity of the idea, because it's 2030, it has to move on. Second is, of course, if it's campaignable, if it has legs to carry you up in more than 10 years. And we chose from different countries, and quite a story, because when we were in the room and we were all from different countries and they were throwing the big word poverty all over the place. We can stop poverty, we can do things for poverty, we can whatever. Poverty can do this and that, or the cause and effect of poverty. I was saying, I come from a poor country, okay? And poverty for me is like not looked at as a big word. It's like little things underneath. I had the privilege of making a documentary on this poorest of the poor in the city. And I had a director, just to tell you my experience, I had a director telling me, Merlee, once we get there, do not step on any plastic bag. Are you kidding me? There's a mountain made of plastic bags in there when we were doing the shoot. And I said, why? That's their toilet. So I was already standing there, and every single plastic bag is a toilet. It was zero sanitation. When I started telling people in Seattle about poverty, to me is like no sanitation. The water is dirty, and they're drinking it. The kids, even before I get into another big word like education, there are many things that when you open your eyes to this, you do not look at the word poverty as a big word. Go down there and feel it and experience. It's different. And it's the only time you get the genuine urge to really get down there and roll up your sleeves and help out. And that's when the brainstorming started. And that's the only time when you start with a medium. So here is like examples I got. Some I've seen and I'm really, really impressed, and some we've done. This one was a winner this year. from YNR Malaysia. And for me, the medium was packaging, but it's brilliant. It's very simple. So let's watch it.
To most, it's just a box. But to thousands of school children in Myanmar, it's an education. When Colgate-Palmolive began operations in Myanmar, they found not just a developing market, but a school system lacking in even basic resources and educational aids. Colgate-Palmolive realized they had two existing assets that could help: thousands of units of packaging and a growing distribution network that reached deep into Myanmar. Working with local teachers, Colgate-Palmolive developed not just educational posters to print on the inside of boxes, but entire lesson plans to go with them. Each different poster has a unique toll-free number, letting teachers access a 10-minute lesson tailored to the Myanmar school syllabus from any phone. Today, education in a box is giving new life to Colgate packaging and new hope to thousands of Myanmar school children.
Okay, from packaging, here's another example for direct. It was simple Christmas cards from TBWA Manila. And it was like using the fonts of the card as the bills of the money folded. And it was saying words are worth nothing. And then in small copy it says, unless it can buy things for the orphanage. It was given to an orphanage, a Christmas card for orphanages. So it moves on to different money cannot buy you love. And when you compute the number of the bills, the amount of the bills count to enough that you can buy milk, diapers, and vitamins for every child in the orphanage. Simple one, but it's direct. This one was an activation done in Brazil. And I was in the Clios late last year when we were judging it. It was a silver and was pushing for a gold. And I made a whole thing. It ended up a gold. I made up a whole thing that it was one idea, but solving two problems at the same time. It was teaching English. At the same time, it was solving loneliness across another country. And for me, when you look at this spot, it was really done with the heart.
Not all of our students have the chance to travel abroad and to interact with native speakers of English. What our students really want is to speak English fluently. And we're always asking ourselves, how can we make it more real, more human? We created a tool that connects our students with seniors in the USA living in retirement homes.
Hello, hello.
Melissa.
Hi, Dick.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
It's the first time that I'm talking with someone from another country.
I'm very excited to be doing this.
I look like I'm only 25, but I'm 88.
Do you have sisters and brothers?
No, I'm one child.
Only one? Oh, you poor fella.
I live with my old brother. He has 23 years.
Do you know, instead of saying he has 23 years, you could say he is 23 years old.
I tried to go to Lollapalooza that we have next week, I think, in Brazil, but my mom didn't let me.
You got a good mom.
Good morning, dear Julia. Good morning to you.
This is your dad?
That's me and my wife when we were young.
Oh, you were good looking when you were young, and you're still good looking.
My first destiny is United States, of course, because I wanted to put better my English.
Well, you do very well, I must say.
Are you planning someday to go to Brazil?
Oh, I would like to.
You can stay in my house if you want.
If you could just dream and have whatever you want, what do you think you would like to be doing?
I see myself in a big family, you know, with a beautiful wife, you know. I want to thank you for this change of experience, you know. You are incredible.
Obrigado.
You are my new granddaughter.
And I love you.
I love you too.
And if you were here, I would give you a big hug.
Oh yeah, let's hug. Oh.
Bye.
Bye.
So that's what I meant when you create something from the heart. It's not like simple, rational thing. It solves two problems. The next one is, it doesn't stop you to create the medium as a product or a product as a medium. In this case, it's product innovation. I had a chance that I had a congressman friend, and I was talking to him in a party, and he said his main problem in his city, Las Piñas, was fires. You know, we're a tropical climate country, so fires is everywhere. And he has a lot of slum areas, poor areas, shanties. The thing is, those roads are very narrow. Fire trucks can't go in. They cannot afford fire extinguishers, $50 fire extinguishers. You cannot buy fire extinguishers that expensive. So it got us thinking. Again, when you go problem solving, world problems, it's probably just a city, small problems. We thought of why not create a fire extinguisher that can be so cheap that you don't have to be poor to really benefit from it. You can have it in your own homes. Today we have 10,000. We put it in a sachet. Fire extinguisher in a sachet. Today we have orders from Belgium. 10,000. My headache today. So this is it.
An average of 8,000 fires are reported every year in the Philippines. Most in densely packed slum areas where over 23 million Filipinos live. This is because their houses are built from scrap wood, so when one fire isn't put out, hundreds lose their homes in minutes. They are unequipped for small house fires because extinguishers are costly, so they risk losing homes and family. The pocket fire extinguisher introduced a solution that would protect even the poorest homes. Designed in the form of a sachet, containing vinegar and baking soda in a carefully measured ratio. By triggering a special capsule mechanism, two ingredients would combine, and the chemical reaction would cause the sachet to expand. Then, once the pre-cut corner was torn, it would shoot out carbon dioxide, enough to kill small fires and prevent huge blazes. For less than $1. In the city of Las Piñas, pocket fire extinguishers were given to its shanty communities, and seminars were held to teach residents how to use them.
Very informative kasi tulad sa ganito kung pinipigit ng bahay, mahihirapan yung fire natin na makapasok. Times of that emergency, pwede natin siya ganito.
Yung malaking bagay sa maliit pa lang, meron sa bahay mismo, hindi mo na kailangan magantay na bukter ko naman, maliit pa lang, pwede mo na siya maabot.
The population of 600,000, the density of Las Piñas is very high. So fires pose a great challenge for us. This is a small solution to a big problem that can save a lot of lives.
Now, the pocket fire extinguisher is being produced for nationwide distribution, providing fire protection for the poorest homes.
Thank you. Now, for the next one, I've seen this early this year. It's outdoor billboards for violence against women. It's here in the UK. So it's a very innovative usage of technology. For the insight of stop ignoring violence, once your eyes are, they sense your eyes looking at the billboard, the bruises on the woman's face disappear. It blew me away. However, just like in my country, we don't have the budget. Clients always tell me, we don't have the budget, we don't have the budget for things like this, for ideas as beautiful as this. Years ago, we did something with the same idea, but with zero budget, just to show you an example that ideas changing the world can be cheap. Okay? It was just an idea of signatures on flyers, but we came up with posters.
I'm not who I used to be. No longer easy on the eyes, but these wrinkles masterfully disguise the youthful boy below.
Na ikaw may pwedeng gawin. Na pag i-touch mo yung ano niya, yung pasapasa niya, nawawala yun.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's really, really impressive. And I like the way it's sort of interactive.
When he catches his reflection on accident. Outstretched, trying to take flight, leaving everything behind. But even at our swiftest speed, we couldn't break from the concrete in the city where we still reside.
For the next one, our agency became very well known because of a simple idea of a SIM card becoming textbooks, recycling old used SIM cards and old Nokia feature phones. Okay, so we both recycled them. But it was really for the whole purpose of showing that our biggest client, Smart, a telco, is into helping education, helping students around Philippines. They asked us to do a print ad. But we did more than that, because print ad, yes, you probably do some breast beating that we help. But this one was the same thing, using their product, which is a SIM card, and phones. And we were able to lighten the load of children walking from faraway places to their schools, carrying minimum of 22 books every day. So it lightened the load of children. But if you look at it, this is a very rational thing. Lighting up the load of children, lessen up the load. Today, we have evolved this idea to something more emotional. We've lightened up their load to cheer them up. So this is the next step, how we evolved the idea.
The Philippines is hit with at least 25 typhoons per year. Lately, they've been getting stronger, leaving a wake of destruction worth billions, and leaving millions homeless, hungry, and afraid. packed into evacuation centers, sometimes for years at a time. The typhoon continues its damage long after it has passed. This time, on the emotional state of its victims, the most vulnerable of whom are kids. Isolated in often inaccessible places, they faced the harshest of realities. It was time to reconnect them to fairy tales, fantasies, and happy endings. Introducing Smart Storybooks. 12 of the happiest children's stories, each packed into a single SIM card, making deployment in typhoon-ravaged areas light and easy. We made use of Smart's award-winning low-tech innovation, where school texts are encoded into the inboxes of old SIM cards, thus turning old analog phones into e-readers. This time, by partnering with some of the country's best-selling children's book authors, we were able to give kids access to stories of hope on the only device these families had left.
Kahit papano, nakalimutan namin yung nangyari sa amin sa Bagyong Yolanda dahil sa storybooks.
Surrounded by tales of grief and loss, one typhoon after the other. Smart Storybooks, reconnecting Filipino kids to stories of hope.
So you can use different medium to help change little by little, and later on the world maybe. My favorites are the one when you invent the medium. It's been done in my country, like a billboard of Coca-Cola made of fucus plants absorbing pollution. Paint, let's say. Wait a minute, sorry. It's too fast. Paint that absorbs also pollution, carbon dioxide. You have liter of light from Pepsi, bottles of Pepsi, and you put bleach and water. It creates a light bulb in far-flung areas as equivalent to a 60-watt bulb. You have, for Department of Health, you have yeast, sugar, and water. It attracts mosquitoes when we had a whole campaign anti-dengue. So things can be done, small things, and eventually it will make waves to help the world. Now to end, the creative mind can really, really do wonders for your brands. But at the end of the day, I truly believe the creative heart can do the impossible, and that will change the world. Thank you very much.